Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to Shortcuts for Your Soul. My name is William Michael Forbes. I'm a spiritual medium, a channel, and an intuitive life coach. And I have with me a being by the name of Archangel Gabriel. Many of you may be familiar with the name. And he's come in, some call him a she. Uh, they come in specifically to give us messages that are very important for our growth and evolution. Today is about choosing freedom. And what's really fascinating, as Archangel Gabriel said to me today, people have to consciously and deliberately choose freedom. And they have to understand what it is they are choosing and why, in order to understand how to become free, to actually create that state of being in a state, what he calls a state of freedom. He defines a state of freedom as being able to freely and fully function in exactly the way, means, and manner you intended to function as a physical soul, without being entrapped in the body, but rather using it as a mechanism to express yourself through, nor being entrapped by this world, which is what the mind is made up of, and being able to make decisions to separate yourself from those. But being defined as free means you're not entrapped in this. That's the definition of being free from entrapment to body and mind, so that you can express as an individual soul as you came here. Um, he says there's many choices that go into your daily living in this world while you're in that body. It is important that you understand that in every moment you are choosing to either be free or to be unaware that you are able to choose to be free. Why are you saying it that way? He's saying because most people aren't even aware they have the ability to choose from what they think or what they remember. This is because a lot of the emotional associations in their minds keeps them, he's saying, magnetically connected to the past. And so they cannot make choices based on what's actually occurring in the present moment. They let the cloud of yesterday hover in front of their eyes and fill their ears. He says the choice to be free is only made in this moment. The first step is recognizing the distinction between what you know yourself to be and what you have been thinking you are. There is a clear distinction between the two that we will illuminate for you today. Mm-hmm. Yes, he says there is a subtlety in awareness that is required for you to make conscious choices. What do you mean, a subtlety? Your ability to be aware enough of discerning between what is truly who you are and what is truly who you are not. Okay, I give you an example. I had an event happen about 3 or 4 days ago where I lost my cell phone, and in my cell phone case was all of my bank cards, credit cards, and things like that, and I lost them. And my first reaction was like an emotion of what happened, where is it? And then they said, stop. That is not you. That identity is not you. The behavior that goes with that energy is not you. And they began to quickly help me get dialed back into the present moment to realize, wait a minute, the construction called William is not who I am. The construction of who you think you are is not who you are. So it was a real wake-up call for me, in a very profound way, to recognize the shock of recognizing that persona, the constructed being called William, is not who I am, any more than the constructed being in which you find yourself living is not who you are. And the movement towards freedom begins when you start to make the discernment between what are your things and what are not your things. What are your thoughts? What are not your thoughts? What are your emotions? What are not your emotions? The moment you realize that the emotion of fear, for example, is not who you are, you were not born into this world as fear. You were not born into this world as anger. You were not born into this world as guilt or shame or doubt or uncertainty. You were born into this world as a limitless potential of divine expressions of love and creativity. And this has been, you have gained the whole world, but you have lost your own soul in the misperception of who you think you are being. So this position of discernment, of recognizing who you are and who you are not, can begin right this moment. Is the fear, the emotions you're experiencing, are they truly you? Or were they assigned to you? Were you taught them? Were you guided to believe that those emotions and those feelings are who you are? Some of you live in emotions and ideas that you are somehow valueless. And this is clearly not the truth, for infinite intelligence does not create a manifestation that it would not love or cherish. And if you come back to the recognition of the love which made you in its image, then you would truly understand that love is what you are, and the expressions of love are what you are being. However, in making the choice to focus on your suffering, in making the choices in these moments to not discern between this mechanism, your thoughts and your emotions, you find yourself torn, trying to figure out what is true and what is false, what is right and what is wrong, what is good and what is evil. But in you is the knowledge of these things. In you is the knowledge, the knowing of what is true and what is false. All that which is fearful, that would call you to say, worship me or honor me, is false. Anything that would indicate that you should be afraid of anything in the creation is false. If you understood the true nature of your being, you would have absolutely no fear in all moments of your being. If you truly remembered the limitless being that you are, you would not have any limit, nor doubt, nor fear, nor uncertainty. For you were not born into that, but you were raised into that. You were raised into that. You came in this world in a trust, as we all did, as we all passed through this. For I too passed through this realm, as did many, many, many countless others before you. And some of us took a considerable period of time to learn to make the distinction, to learn the process of becoming free, which is not so much of a becoming because you already are free, but remembering that you are free in this moment or any moment. So one of the lessons they've been giving me about emotion from that event of losing that identification, that false identification, that false self. Yes, Master Jesus just popped in and said, you have to lose the false self to know yourself, to know that I am, that you are. He wants to also say, he's communicating a direct blessing to all of you that know that these words are for you that can hear, and for you that can see. For you are no longer alone in your struggle. You are being liberated in your desire to be free, but it must again be chosen by you. We cannot force anything upon anyone, for that is not the nature of the divine. For the divine is a state of being that has no resistance. It has no resistance to love. It has no resistance to being. But in the realm of your individuality, you must choose, for you are an individual expressing through a finite form. And freedom must be a choice that you execute in every moment. Sorry, I'm just watching Gabriel and Jesus fist bump each other. That's cool. That I don't often get those kinds of displays from them. But recognizing the distinction between what you're feeling is it you? When you feel angry or you feel afraid or you feel uncertain, does that really feel like it's you? Does being fearful, is that really you? No. Fear comes to us in several ways. It comes to us through our body's remembering of how to survive based on instinctual conditioning, but it also comes to us by what we've witnessed. And I witnessed a lot of fear in my childhood. I witnessed a lot of anger in my childhood, and I acquired the belief, the understanding from my biological parents that fear and anger defined my experiences, that suffering was part of who I am. I accepted those beliefs and lived in those frameworks of fear and anger and suffering for many years, believing that those were the emotions that defined who I was. Even though at the time I've gone back far enough in time personally to know that I can remember observing that and feeling that doesn't feel right. I remember as a child feeling that doesn't feel right, but not knowing how to discern between what felt right. Because again, as a child, we're conditioned to believe our sustenance comes from the world. Our identity, what we need, comes from out there: food, clothing, shelter. But those are only the needs of the body, not the needs of the spirit. Yes, that was Master Jesus saying that. Those are only the needs of the body, not the needs of your spirit. And you have been, and you have been misled to believe that the needs of your body are the needs of your spirit, and nothing could be further from the truth. Yes. So getting that place right now where you are, making a discernment, a decision between what is true and what is false. You were not born. Yes. They're just having me reiterate this. You were not born in fear, although those that you were born into life with may have been living in fear. That is not what you were born into. That is not what any of you were born into. Nor were you born into anger or judgment or guilt or shame. You were born in trust and love. And there's a difference in the feelings between that which is true for who you are and that which is false for who you are not. And when you begin to make those conscious and deliberate discernments, you begin to liberate yourself from what we call the false self, the old self, the world self, the illusionary self. And so Gabriel is saying one of the things you can begin to do right now to start the process of choosing freedom. He says the first thing you can do to start the process of choosing freedom consciously is learn to breathe consciously. Learn to breathe yourself into here and now. He's saying literally, like you can breathe in deeply. He says it does not matter if you breathe in through your nose or mouth in the beginning. Each of these will give you different results in terms of shifts in your perceptual awareness and in your body's energy. But for now, the choice to breathe is what is most important. For you know that when you take a breath, it is right and good. And when you exhale, you can feel it is right and good. The conscious, deliberate action of your choosing to breathe in and out is an act of freedom, choosing freedom with your body. It's the beginning act of choosing freedom. And although this is a very simple and basic step, it is quite profound when you begin to understand and recognize the sensation that you as an awareness experience when you choose freedom by the simple act of breathing. We do not have the we do not have the ability to choose on your behalf, although we can incline you and inspire you and offer you information and guidance that you may or may not be willing to receive, but we cannot, through any assertion of our being, make you choose freedom or make you surrender enslavement. We cannot make you do this. And there are I and many others with you right now. And if you open your awareness up to feel our presence with you, we will guide you if you are open to receiving, much the same way as if you offer a glass of water to a thirsty creature. If it is thirsty, most intelligent creatures that are thirsty will drink. But there are some among you that are afraid to drink for the belief that surrendering your old self, even if it means a lot of suffering, means that you will be nothing. And we would say to you that the simple choice to become nothing will give you the opportunity to be everything that you are. I like that. Thank you. To be everything that you are. Master Jesus is saying it's really important you understand the simple step, the simple choice to breathe in any moment when your fears, when your anger, when the actions and emotions of others stimulate you into suffering. Choose freedom with your breath. It is the simplest tool we can extend and offer you at this time to begin the process of your freedom. Even for those of you that understand the advanced elements of which we are illuminating to through this process, in the simple act of choosing your breath, will also appreciate even more deeply and how more profoundly you can experience your freedom. For the breath is your spirit moved by your intention, altering all that it moves through in time and in space. There is freedom, and there is something else that is not. Wow. Whew. Thank you. The energy here is really intense and beautiful, and I hope you're feeling the light the way I'm feeling the light. And the love. I mean, there's a profound love that comes from these beings that have gone through the human experience and have worked their way through it and understood the distinction between who we are and who we've been taught to think we are, what their relationship is to the very source that beats your heart. What is your relationship to the source that beats your heart? Most people take it for granted that there's an intelligence that is beating their heart at 72 beats per minute, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year for an entire lifetime. It does that without fail for you. And very few people realize that there's an intelligence there working to do that for them. There's not one amongst us, little humans, that could possibly make a heartbeat manually do. We could not do that physically. We could not physically do that ourselves. So there's an intelligence that says, I'm right here within you. And our goal is to bring this awareness to you and for you to bring this awareness to others. And you can only bring and offer to others that which you have received yourselves. Yes. So what comes, they're saying what comes through this one, comes through this one because he has received it. And what will go to you because you have received it. And what you will become because you have chosen to become that. Before we go any further, we're going to get into the Q&A in a second. It's amazing what's happening on this planet today. There are massive changes going on. Like they're telling me there's huge changes geologically, sociologically, geopolitically, and in the galactic realms, in the solar realms. There's huge changes happening. And what's really fascinating, they keep telling me the same thing over and over again. From the moment my guardian angel John 9 months ago told me that we had to start the 1 billion strong group, that we had to get the human collective unconsciousness functioning from a platform of love to shift deliberately the way energy is being distributed and utilized and interacted with on the planet. We had to literally change the human collective unconscious. That has not occurred. What has occurred is everything that was hidden is now revealed. all of the things, all of the fear, all the guilt, all the shame, all that which was hidden in mankind's subconscious, all of our darkness, all the things that we've been hiding has now been revealed. And now we have a choice as individuals and as a species to let our anger, our fear, our guilt, our shame, our disrespect for life and others, we now have the opportunity to let it go. Each and every one of us must make this choice. But in the releasing of all that would harm us, everything will come forth to ennoble us, to give humanity and the planet an opportunity to experience a different paradigm in being as we move in changes in consciousness. This ascension process is about this. It's about literally making a conscious, deliberate, intentional choice to shift your consciousness from being body-mind to being soul, directing time, space, and matter. And then as we do that as a collective, as more and more of us awaken to the reality of what I think, what I feel is organizing matter, as we come to that understanding, then that becomes very important to be communicated um, um, as in a vibration of acts, words, and deeds of love without ignoring that which is wrong. You can't ignore that which is wrong either, which has been a challenge for me. I see all these people living the dream they've chosen to live, and I have great compassion for them, and I know that they suffer. I can see it in their eyes when they walk by me with their masks tightly over the face, or some of the people walking down actually struggling to breathe with their masks on. And I have great compassion for them, but I know that that's wrong that they're doing that. But they themselves must honor their own choice to decide what freedom is for them, right? And we are all called to choose right now. Humanity as a whole is being called, and each individual must choose. Many are called, but few choose, right? And it's a great, profound truth. So freedom, understanding freedom. I also want to say, if you want to support these messages, please go to my Patreon page, patreon.com/William Michael Forbes. You can become a member of our Patreon. We have exclusive perks there. You get to be entered into a draw to win a free reading with me every month. We do a draw. You also get to ask a question of your guides, your angels. Also, you have the opportunity to join in our patrons only live event on the 7th day at 7 p.m. every single month. As well, we do occasionally do live pop-up events throughout the month too. Yes. Also, I want to say also, if you've been watching the bottom screen, our mediumship course begins. It's Mediumship Course 101 for beginners, and it starts tomorrow with the orientation. There's a Facebook group where the orientation is held, and then all the live events that will be held for the mediumship course will be held on Zoom. And this is an amazing course that will teach you fundamentally the process of beginning to disassemble or detach yourself from who you've been conditioned to think you are, and to connect yourself back to your divine attributes, your the four primary clairs that we all have that need to be awakened and opened. And many people, they say up to 1 billion people right now, are awakening. Their clairs are being opened. They're hearing things, they're seeing things, they're feeling things, they're smelling things that they don't know why they are. What's that smell? What's that I'm hearing? Did you hear that? Did you see that? A lot of people, their clairs are spontaneously opening. This course is designed to train people how to expand those clairs consciously and deliberately, to begin to sense the presence of your guides, your angels, the other multidimensional beings, and the ascended masters that are literally here in countless numbers, working with all of us in the realms that we need to be expanding and growing in as individuals and as a human collective. This ascension process is real. We are literally moving from 3D consciousness to 4 and 5D consciousness. And the Earth's consciousness is doing the exact same thing in conjunction with that process. What happens in the small happens in the large. Yeah, thank you. So I'm going to let's see if I can get rid of this here. Okay, go over here. I'm going to go to questions. So remember, the primary subject here is about freedom. I'm just going to roll over here. Just a moment here. Okay. Sorry, actually, I'm not. Thank you. All right. So we're going to get to questions and answers. And let's see what we got here. So those of you that are on the Facebook group watching this, you'll see in the first comment gives you a link that will let you go to where you can put comments that I can get from those in the Facebook group as well. And it's actually, yeah, it's right there also in yeah, there it is right there. Good morning, Marie. Good morning, everybody, and welcome. So those of you that are new to the group, welcome, and thank you for coming. We are at such an amazing time, you know, as a William, as a little personality. It's been pretty hair-raising, because watching the ego, the personality, the past self, looks at things very different than I do as an awakened soul, or as you will as an awakened soul. It's very important to understand the distinction between who you've been taught to think you are and who you are as a sentient being, as a soul that came here to experience your creative process in time, space, and matter. And again, you'll learn all that. For those of you that have already enrolled in the course, we are going to have an amazing 3 weeks with you guys. I'm so excited. You know, we got some great mediums, and it's going to be profound. It's going to be life-changing for some of you. And I want to welcome our former students that have come back to repeat the course. I want to say welcome you guys. We're looking forward to seeing you guys tomorrow during the orientation and during the 3 weeks as well. For those of you that want to register, all the information will be scrolling across the screen for the duration of this live event. So let's get into questions and answers about being free. Hello from South Africa. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Question from JC. Thank you for that super chat, JC. I really appreciate that. Is there any message for me today? Much love. Wow. I'm not sure. Something about something you need to. Something about green. The words green water are coming in. Something about green water. Something you need to consume. Green water. Why is that? Something about, there's something trying to be released that can only be released with this green frequency, green water. What's the green? Something about the sea. Again, my brain is telling me there to translate that green into seaweed and water. But consuming something very green and pure water, drinking that. There's something that needs to be cleared out of your colon. I don't know what that is, but that's the information they're sliding through to me to give to you. There's something that has to be released from your colon. The green water. Again, they're also saying there are elements that you currently use that you can increase that will make this release effective for you. Wow, thank you for that question, JC. I really appreciate it. Wow, a question from Magical Buddha. How do I appreciate people who expect much of me? That's a great question. And the first answer that came into my consciousness from that is, it is important to appreciate them, for they are facilitating the space for you to release your limits on being more than who you think you can be. Wow, that's cool. That I wonder, how do I appreciate people who expect much of me? That's amazing. So they're actually facilitating, by expecting more of you, they're facilitating you becoming and being more of what you are. That's pretty cool. Wonderful. That's a great way to appreciate it. Thank you so much for sharing that. Okay, you know, go on down here. Hello. Anthony's got a question here. Can you ask my higher self if there are any spiritual practices I should be doing that I'm not doing to help with my awakening? Also, why do I struggle with meditation so much? Yeah. Okay. They said in the first case, you are doing the spiritual practices. They're saying the challenge you're having in struggling is you're not struggling with the meditation. You're struggling with your mind and body interfering with your control over them. You're struggling with your mind and body interfering with your asserting control over them. Yeah, that's cool. In our Mediumship 102 course, we get into that process of meditation where you learn to distinguish between your mind and body and who you are. Because your body has a mind of its own. It literally does. It's got billions of years of evolution and survival stored into the DNA of your body. And if you can't make the distinction between when your body's reacting based on its millions of years of programming and you, then you'll be run by the programming of the body, the instinctual fear of the body. So you'll be driven by the world rather than by who you are as a soul. And when you can retrain your mind and body to align to who you are as a soul, it will liberate you. Great question, Anthony. Really good question. Thank you so much for asking that. You're welcome, Nicole. Yes, he says you're welcome. I love when that happens. Thank you so much. She asked the question. I read it, and he just said you're welcome, right? Before I had a chance to read the question, the statement out. A question from Liv. What is the best way of setting boundaries for one of my daughters? She is often very controlling and aggressive towards me. Wow. They're saying that the aggression and control from her is a request for a love that she does not believe she has received from you. It is a call for you to understand the need of her love rather than fearing her call for the love. Wow, that's cool, Liv. That's a great question. I bet a lot of us have all been through that as parents. That when our children are acting up, they're not acting up because the one of the things I love about Course in Miracles, they have a statement. It goes, every human interaction consists of one or two things, either a call for love or an extension of love. And it's really quite profoundly true. What they're saying is, in your daughter, you've got to let go. You have to let go of your fear of her behavior and identify what is the love she needs. What is the love she's calling for? How is it you can extend love to her? This is what you need to understand. What is it that she needs as an expression of love from you? Wow. Thank you so much for that, Liv. Really appreciate that question. There are so many people that need to hear that type of information. And so I want to say I'm so grateful you guys do ask the question too. And I want to say I'm really grateful for the time and the donations you give here. Again, 20% of everything that gets donated in super chats or goes to rescue.org, which is a child rescue agency that rescues children from the sex slave trade and human trafficking circles. And we are big supporters of that. Let's see. Question from Patricia. I'm sorting through a lifetime's belongings in preparation to move. Any guidance on keeping a sense of detachment in the process? It's overwhelming and I feel sad. They're giggling. They're saying, this is very good. For that which would overwhelm you and make you feel sad is not who you are. Those things do not represent who you are. They represent who you were, or who you think other people were, or who you think other people are being, or who you think your life might be based on these things. You do not understand the distinction. Yes. Did you get what he just said? The distinction between who you are and who you're not is so important. When Gabriel's saying learning, you have to choose freedom. Choosing freedom is so important. Sadness and pain and anger, they are not who you are. They are what the body and mind experience based on past information or past stuff being triggered or events in time space that harm the body. But the body isn't who you are. It's a vehicle you express through. But learning to choose between who you are and who you are not. Yeah, sorry. He's also saying how you shall choose to release these things and how you will choose to keep these things should be based on the knowledge that is your knowledge of what lifts you and enlivens you and what takes you down. That which ennobles your spirit to be more in the joy of your being, more of that which you are, will liberate you, and holding on to those things that would cause suffering will not do that. Thank you, Patricia. Talk about non-attachment. Again, I got a great experience with that from them because losing my phone and the cards and everything all at once like that, finally realizing that's not who I am. Those bank cards, those credit cards, the phone, That's not who you are. It's not who I am. Learning that lesson is really important. The stuff of this world is not who you are. It's the stuff of this world. Very, very beautiful. Thank you, Patricia. That's so relevant to the subject today. Let's see. Oh, thank you for that, Janine. I really appreciate that so much. Thank you for that $5. Question from Emma. What is the best way to let my dad know of my new spiritual pathway? I feel very scared of letting him know, since he is very judgmental towards spiritual people, calling us crazy and so on. They're saying, do not go to him in your emotion of fear, for this will further reinforce his belief that people of a spiritual nature are fruity or crazy, as he puts it. It is important that you share your understanding of who you are from your position of strength and power, and that his judgment should have no relevance to who you are, but reflects who he is because of his fear around his spiritual being. For he was taught to subvert and deny who he is, as you once were also, and you now face not only the fear that you still cling to, but the fear that he also clings to. And in the release of your fear, in approaching the sharing of who you are from the strength of your love of who you are, will take you much further and afford your responses to be different than they would normally in the face of his fear. For his fear also requires a perception change of love. Acceptance of his denial from a perspective of compassion would be very wise in this case. Wow. That's wonderful. Thank you, Emma. That's beautiful. Question from Janine. Why am I experiencing difficulty in healing my arm and believing I don't need surgery when doctor says differently? I need to decide. Raphael's coming in right now. He says, you have to feel what it is you wish to be evident in your matter. And he's using the word matter. I don't know why, but he's saying in the matter. The constant back and forth that you have between that which you believe and that which you do not believe is simply that which causes them in the world around you to reinforce the one or the other. But he's saying, let me stand by you. And if you believe as you know you may believe, then allow us together to resolve this so that you know that this change is something you may affect. Wow. Yeah, so he's saying, literally, he's beside you right now. Feel the vibration. He's saying you're going to feel it like a slight stream of heat that will begin to move down the arm. He says it's not something you are receiving, it is something you are allowing. If you are truly desirous of what you say, then you will not only feel this, but you will realize that you are allowing it. And in the allowing, you have chosen. You have already chosen. Now you can choose more consciously. Yes. Yes. Yeah, I get that. Sorry, he's just showing me some things that he's doing. Yes. Yes. And he says, cast no more fear there. Cast no more fear, but let your love reign supreme in this. Wow. He says, in your meditation, I will be with you. Wow. He's saying, go, take the time while this is going on, meditate right now. Literally move your awareness into a state of meditation right now and really allow that energy flow in. But remember that you're choosing it too. It's difficult. We get so caught up in believing this world is so much more real than what we are as a being, that people are out of control of what happens to them. Look what's happening on the planet. People are out of control because they believe they have no power over the world. Most people don't even know they have power and control over their own thoughts and emotions. Well, it's just the way I feel. And people are lost in that illusion. And it's creating unnecessary suffering all over. So learn to let go of the illusion that your body is who you are. It's a vehicle that you express who you are through. And if you're expressing who you are truly through your form, then it will change and become a most wondrous expression of who you are. Because matter is organized by emotion. Remember that. Matter is organized by emotion. We go deeply into the processes and methodologies that they gave us to teach others to allow you to facilitate healing in your body. And it really is it is a process, because you have to learn it. It's like anything else. Some things take longer than others. Thank you for that question, Janine. Manoj is asking, how do I open up my awareness to Archangel Gabriel and other angels? Well, there's a variety of ways you can learn to do that. I would recommend coming and taking our course, Manoj. Register for it today. It starts tomorrow for the orientation. And starting this Sunday, we begin the live events with mediums from Sunday to Friday, and learn, be it with a group of people that will be learning and developing that skill set, because you have to develop an awareness. And we have processes that you actually learn to sense the presence of these beings and how to actually identify specific individuals, because they are. Master Jesus, Buddha, Raphael are individuals, as we are individuals in the flesh. They're individuals in energy. And once you learn how to sense their energy, you can start to build a relationship with them. Much the same way as you meet somebody on the street for the very first time. You want to you get to know them. Of course, too, a lot of people are programmed now to be afraid to talk to anybody on the streets. Remember, there's a lot going on to choose between that which is true and that which is false. Great question, Manoj. Thank you for asking. A question from Diana. Do you endorse automatic writing as a way to truly connect with my spirit guides and angels? They're all saying yes. They're all saying yes to that. And I can hold. I've never gravitated energetically towards automatic writing, because I've been hooked up pretty good for the last couple of years. But automatic writing is, for some, it is the right way. They're saying there are many different ways that you can connect with us. That is but one. And if your heart is asking the question, then your heart has the answer. Thank you, Deanna. Great question. Well, Miriam is asking, I have been awakened to meditate in the early hours of the mornings, but I am struggling to stay up. Please advise. Thank you. Miriam, it's not you that's having trouble waking up. It's your body's programming that's overriding your conscious choosing. You literally have to make your body do what you want to do. You literally have to say, get out of bed, and take it to the chair and sit it down. And you, until it doesn't, you keep doing it every day until finally it will start enjoying it. When you start to meditate and you can go into that place like instantly, it's bliss. But you have to train your body. Your body's an animal body. It's got a mind of it. It wants to eat. The only thing your body really wants in this life is to eat, sleep, procreate, and have, shelter. Eat, sleep, procreate, and have shelter. That's all your body really cares about in this physical dimension. That's all it really cares about. And survival, right? But that's what survival is. But you have to train it to a new behavior that's outside of its billions of years of evolution, right? Again, all this information you get in great detail. We have meditations in our courses, like we do a meditation. There are meditations throughout the courses, training you to meditate, teaching you how to get the fundamentals of it down pat, learning from your own personal experience to know who you are, to have governance over your mind and your body. It's very important. You have to learn it. You have to train this thing. It's not going to learn on its own. Any more than if you took a baby and threw it in the forest on its own, that it's going to survive. Right? It won't. It has to be given the information from a higher source, which is the parents. Question from Maria. My son suffers from depression and is in recovery from addiction. 1 year clean. He has very little motivation. Others say he needs tough love, but I'm afraid to push him. How do I support him? Well, Wow. Well, again, in our Mediumship 102 course, we go into how to let go of past emotions. Depression are emotions we hold on to or experiences we hold on to from our past that are stored in our subconscious mind that we did not have the knowledge or experience to reorganize when the events happened. He's stuck in his past, or he's stuck in a potential future based on that past, and he's probably not even conscious of it. Most behaviors that are destructive, and anytime I hear somebody say, I don't know why I did that, don't know why that happened, I can tell you 100% that it happened because of unconscious beliefs or programs. And until you can learn to change those, until you can learn to run the mind, it will run you. But for your son specifically, what do you have to say about the son? They're saying he needs to learn to smile more in front of a mirror. He needs to actually see his joy again. He needs to reveal his joy to himself again. You may facilitate this by reminding him of how much joy you had when he came into this world, and how much joy you feel knowing he is in the world. He needs to remember his joy, for that will take him away from his suffering. He must move his head away. They're saying he must turn the other cheek. Thank you. Master Jesus says he's got to literally turn the other cheek, turn away from his depression and focus on something else. Thank you so much. Great question, Maria. Oh, goody. Thank you. He was saying thank you inside, but it's really cool how he does that. Yes, he's saying the difference between allowing and asking is their order. You ask first and then allow. You ask for that which you require, the guidance, the inspiration, the knowledge, the wisdom, the sustenance, whatever you must learn to ask and then allow. For ask and receive is the way of the Lord, is the word he just said. I don't know why he's using that word, but he is. Ask and receive is the way of the Lord. That's really cool. Thank you for asking that, Hayat. That there's an order between asking and allowing in the creative process, right? Learning to ask and then allow. He's also saying there are things in the asking that you must learn to understand, which is where your error is occurring. There are errors in the ways in which you are asking. That is the error. Wow. Cool. Thank you, Hayat. Wow, here we go. It's moving a little slow here. There we go. We have a question from I am. Any message from me from Jesus? I would like more experiences feeling connected with him. I'm taking your course again. Wonderful. We'll look forward to seeing you there. I am. Yes. He's saying you are already having these. He's always saying you're already having these. It is your awareness of these things. And again, those things are happening. Like I said, even a year ago, if I'd lost my identity like that, I would have freaked out. I would have been like, oh my God. And realize when they finally pointed out to me, no, your guides, your angels, the ascended masters are with you if you're open. Things that the crap that happens around your life sometimes is happening because you need to let go of what you are not and remember and be who you are. And until you know how to lose yourself, you will not know how to find yourself. Okay, but he's saying if you wish to know if I am with you, he's saying you can feel the stroke of my hand behind you. Feel the stroke of my hand behind you. And he's literally motioning like this. It's a beautiful, beautiful vibration. I hope you're feeling that. Yes. He says, do not get caught in the sensation of your body, but the feeling that it receives. And know I am with you. That's really cool. Thank you, I am. Wow. There are 9 questions before, eh? Well, let me see here. I'm just wondering why my phone isn't allowing me. For some reason, I can't access the comment section in the live feed, but I can participate in it. That's fascinating. I go to my channel. There we go. So, okay, there we go. I can see now. Desiree. Let me see if I'm just getting, there's so much going on here. We've done that one. Desiree, where are you? With the new ability to stream to Facebook and YouTube, there's a bit more bandwidth being used, so the process changes. Let's see, where is Desiree? There you are. Oh, hello, Autumn. A question from Desiree. Thank you for that donation, Desiree. Can you ask my guides or Archangel Gabriel what I need to be doing to get my spiritual business going? He's saying the first thing is you must be aligned to the certainty of your work and not the uncertainty that the world seems to reveal to you. Yes. He's saying you're holding it in here. You're holding uncertainty. You said you might recognize that as a vibration you would call fear, but you still hold it here, up on this side of your heart, the top right side of your heart. He's saying you need to release that from you, and the ways will open. Please understand that the conditions of matter in which you all find yourselves are products of how you are choosing to work with your emotions and energy. Yeah, release the uncertainty, Desiree. Release the vibration of uncertainty. The ways will open. And I can tell you from personal experience in the last few years, I have witnessed this as such a profound and simple truth, that once we learn how to change an emotional energy within our physical and mental being, it literally organizes the world around us. It literally does that. All behavior in the world comes from what we feel, right? You're either feeling love or fear. There's only those two. If you're feeling love, you're going to experience changes and conditions like that. If you're experiencing fear, you'll experience changes and conditions of that. Thank you. Wonderful. As you know, as things get busier here, Tracy's got a question here. How do I free myself from overthinking and anxiety? Remember, you are not your emotions. Your emotions are energy you have access to. Your emotions, whether there's fear or guilt or shame or joy or bliss, it's just energy. We go into great detail to enable people to understand this idea that the anxiety and emotions that most people are going through are not who they are, but they have to become aware of how to change them as a process of how to release yourself. Literally, even right now, I'd like to share this with you, Tracy, because this was given to us to share with all the students in the courses. Simply take your index finger, just your index finger, place it to your mouth like this, and just make this sound. And watch what happens in your mind just by doing that. Just by doing that one simple thing. You have to realize that you are the awareness. You're not the emotions. You're not the body. You're the awareness that can reorganize them and train them to be what you need them to be. Yeah. Master Jesus just stepped in and saying, you must renew the world. You must renew your life by renewing the world. And he's referring to your mind and your body. You must remake it in the image and likeness of who you are. Thank you for that, Tracy. That's a really powerful question. Yeah, that was Saint Germain, I'm told, Patricia. Question from Adam, can I ask Archangel Ariel if she has heard the prayers for the dog Brody, who is separated from her owner, and if Brody will be reunited with her owner soon? And what else will happen? I'm being told there is always room for something greater in one's life. Do not hold so fast to the fear of what you do not want, but rather align yourself to the joy of what you do. Wow. This is what they just said is really important. Align yourself to the joy of what you want instead of the fear of what you do not want. Because emotion organizes matter. So important to understand. Emotion organizes matter. There's no human behavior that occurs without an emotion driving it. And the sooner you understand that, the more power you have in terms of freedom of choice. And when you have choice, yes, Gabriel was just saying, this is it here. When you have choice, then you can choose freedom. You can choose freedom when you have choice. I'm just scrolling down here. There we go. These guys, I want to say thank you to everybody that's been showing up today and supporting this work. I love what I get to do and bring through for you guys, and I love what you guys are bringing through to the world, because this ascension process is universal. All the gobbledygook that humanity's been hiding, harboring, hidden away in its own subconscious mind is being revealed. All the fear, the guilt, the shame, we have to let it go now. When you walk down the street and you see those people wearing masks, and have compassion and understanding that they're still entrapped and masked in fear. And it's not about the mask, it's about what they harbor inside. Humanity must release its collective fear in order to restabilize or rebalance the global electric circuit. Our emotional energy collectively is affecting time, space, and matter. And if we are predominantly working with energies that are fear-based, we will create experiences that are in that energy creation. When we move our awareness to a vibration of love energy, we create an experience in time space that becomes that. Love is 4, 5, and 6 dimensional. Fear is 2, 3, and 4 dimensional. Right? Learn to let your fear go. So important to be able to do that. So yeah, tell them that. She said to let go of the fear of what they do not want and connect to the joy of what they do want and stay in that. Wow. And let us know. Here's another great question. You guys are asking such great questions. I have so much to get done today because we're getting prepared for the courses tomorrow, but I want to take a few more minutes because there's some really great questions you guys are asking. A question on the ascension from Ryan. Is there a timeline when there is one large upcoming event that will drastically alter this co-created reality, or will it continue to unfold slowly and individually? They're saying it's not an either or, Ryan. It's an and. It's an and. However, the geophysical events that are about to unfold are unfolding as a result of human collective fear influencing and affecting the electrical connectivity between our awareness and time space. This is so important to understand the relationship that we have with matter through emotion. And from my personal perspective, this is really important. And when my guardian angel John said, we have to learn to train ourselves to align to love deliberately and intentionally, this would facilitate a great balancing happening. And we watched as we began that process last September. We watched September, October, we watched as the daily meditations that we were doing on the 1 Billion Strong movement we have on Facebook. We watched how the magnetic movement of the poles began to slow from 34 miles an hour down to 25 miles an hour. And we watched how the ozone hole over South Antarctica closed up like that. And now we've watched as this massive outflow and outpouring of fear has been demonstrated on the planet. We see now these magnetic anomalies happening. Emotion organizes matter. Please understand this. They're like literally yelling this through me to you. Emotion organizes matter. Align your energy, your awareness to love. and encourage others to do the same. And if you cannot extend that love verbally, then do it from your heart. Like I said, there's lots of people walking, and I see people will walk around and I can feel their fear. And what I do is I just extend love to them. I know that fear is not who I am. Love is who I am. So I extend that. And do wherever you are, do that. You know, it has to be done. We're seeing changes. You can't stop them. Thank you. I think I got your question, Adam. Great comments and statements and support. Wonderful, thank you. Just scrolling down a bit more. That's been addressed already. I think we're just about done, guys. Here we go. Like I said, there have been such great questions today. From Danielle, what or how do I need to heal myself to get to move on with my life and start my healing business online? That's a great question. That's the second time that question's come up. When you begin to really understand what they're saying about emotion, like when you really understand the power that you have available, then it's the quality of the emotions that you harbor in your mind subconsciously that you must relieve. If it's not happening out there, it's because it's not happening in here. They tell me this: as a man believeth in his heart, so is he or she, right? If you want to be politically correct. But what we harbor in our heart, which is your subconscious mind, so it is in our world. And most people's subconscious mind have been conditioned by movies and television and radio and stuff that's put fear and doubt and terror into our minds. And we have to release that. You have to let that go and turn away from it. Turn the other cheek, right? Turn away from all that stuff and release that doubt and that fear you harbor in your mind and align yourself to the love. It's the same as the dog. Align yourself to the joy of the answered prayer, right? The joy of your prayer being already answered. How would it feel if you already had that unfolding in your world? Well, you'd feel great joy, right? Wouldn't you? Oh, you're very welcome, Patricia. Wonderful. Let's see if I get a new question from somebody else. Oh, you're welcome, Allison. You guys are great. You guys are awesome. Question, I think we have one more question here from Blaine. For Toth, how many years away are we from the 13,000 precession of the equinox purification? Wow. I've never had, that was an immediate answer. The immediate answer was 17 years. 17 years. I don't know why, but that's what he's giving me. 17 years. I want to write that down. I want to take a screenshot of that question. Thank you. Wow. Thank you for that question, Blaine. I really appreciate it. And I want to say to everybody here today, please, freedom is a choice that we get to make each and every moment. Okay. Gabriel wants to say this. You know now what you have heard, and if you have had ears to hear, then you will hear. It is important you understand you may start from the simple act of breathing your body, for in that assertion, you are choosing freedom. And you may do the same in your mind, simply releasing, drawing in new thought, releasing old. But freedom is a choice. It is not something that will just arbitrarily happen for you. You came here to create consciously in alignment with the infinite intelligence and its limitless capacity to create great joy or great suffering. And you are free to choose either. It couldn't be any other way. And there'd be freedom. For freedom to suffer is equally as important as the freedom to be in a state of joy or love. You are free to choose. And we leave you with this today. You are free to choose. Much love, everybody. I want to thank you again for your time. And we will see you. We will see you on Monday. And for our students, we will see you live on the Facebook group. You'll be receiving all the information in your email box sometime between now and 9 p.m. this evening. And I'm looking forward to introducing you to our mediums. It's going to be great. Much love to all of you. Have yourselves a wonderful and a joy-filled day.